you put everything you've got into the land. It's about heritage, hard work, and the promise of a good harvest. We understand that commitment. Our precision aerial application saves you valuable time, giving you more hours back to spend with the ones who matter most. We help you maximize yields and protect your crops, season after season. Advanced technology, efficient coverage, and a dedication to your success. Bradley Air Spray. Precision mapping and professional application. Trust the experts to protect your yield.
Hi, I'm Barry McKeegan at Denham Chrysler Jeep. You might remember me from such commercials as No Bull Sale or Spin to Win. Well, I'm back, and so is the brand new 2026 Jeep Cherokee, with an incredible driving range of over 800 kilometers on a single tank. And you don't have to plug it in. The all-new Cherokee offers more room, outstanding safety features, including standard active driving assist and unsurpassed in-class towing. See and drive the all-new 2026 Jeep Cherokee today. We'd love to see you, and here at Denham Chrysler, we're ready to help you now and for every mile down the road.
Local people. Local news and events. Local sports. Local matters. For all things Lloydminster and area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
We want to welcome you to Live with Kurt Price, presented by Harris Electric. Celebrate Julymas with Harris Electric. Save on permanent and decorative lighting for your home, cabin, acreage, or business. Book your summer installation by July 31st. Use promo code KURT for an extra 5% off and enjoy holiday displays, game day colors, and special occasions year-round. Call Harris Electric today. Well, today we're talking about the Economic Partnership Summit, and joining us in the studio, we have Ricky Ducharme here, Terry Lynn Mackey is here, Caitlin Dercher is here, and we're going to be talking today about what this Economic Summit and partnership means to our community and the Indigenous communities around us. Well, here we are into July already, and that means it's almost fair time. The Lloyd Fair runs July 8th through 11th at the Lloydminster exhibition with a large midway, the Creates It displays, trade show, mural fest, agricultural demonstrations, and some great entertainment in the evening. And Jackie Tomeyer with the Lloyd X told us during the day they have some great entertainment as well.
We do. We have Dolly Parton coming. Yeah, Dolly's gonna grace us, and then we have a gentleman. He's a hypnotist, mentalist, comedian named Dale Kay, and he's from California, and but he grew up in Ontario, so he's a Canadian boy. But he is going to blow your mind if you sit in on one of his shows.
Okay, what about the Dolly Parton? You can't, like, we got Dolly Parton coming. You can't just go over that.
Yeah,
because people are going to go, Dolly Parton's coming.
Yeah, she's a Dolly Parton artist, right. And we like the lounge. You know, that's a lounge during the day, so we like that. You know, interactive throwback to Shania or Dolly or
right.
You know, last year we had Elvis.
And you can save on your entry tickets and your Ride All Day bracelets by picking them up ahead of time. And you can do that at the Lloyd X until July 7th. The City of Lloydminster will be hosting a free pancake breakfast on Thursday morning. That runs from 7 to 10, just 1 week from today during the fair. Let the mayor and city council and employees serve you breakfast. The Synovus Block Party trailer will also be there, so there'll be plenty of the kids to do with games and a whole lot more. And don't forget, you can catch the 121st edition of the Lloydminster Parade right here on Live with Kurt Price. Tune in on Facebook Live or on YouTube at 10 a.m. July 8th, and join myself and Stacey Comer for all the action and excitement of the parade presented by Lloydminster and District Co-op. We also want to thank Lakeland College, the City of Lloydminster, and the Gold Horse Casino for their support as well. Time now for Live in Lloyd. Live in Lloyd is brought to you by the Vic Juba Community Theatre and May Cinema 6.
We hope you enjoyed your Canada Day. Now we look ahead to Alberta Day, and we've got the perfect celebration. This is Live in Lloyd with Tanis Heinz. Celebrate Alberta Day with us on Saturday, August 29th at 7:30 p.m. Join us for a complimentary Alberta Day concert featuring Edmonton indie folk artist Vaughn Beaker. Sponsored by the Government of Alberta and the City of Lloydminster, This special evening celebrates Alberta's rich history, diverse heritage, and incredible homegrown talent. Admission is complimentary with reserved seating, so be sure to reserve your tickets early. Our new box office summer hours begin Monday. From July 6th through August 31st, the box office will be open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call the box office at 780-872-7400. Of course, tickets for all our amazing shows are always available online, 24/7 at victuatheatre.ca. Reserve your complimentary Alberta Day tickets today. We'll see you at the theatre.
It's summertime, and that means matinees, and now playing at May Cinema 6, Minions and Monsters. The Yellow Mischief makers are back, but this time they've accidentally unleashed a horde of mythical beasts that they'll have to help capture, starring Pierre Coffin and Steve Carell. Also playing at May Cinema 6, Toy Story 5, Supergirl, Jackass Best and Last, Obsession, and Scary Movie. For tickets and showtimes to all upcoming movies, including Minions and Monsters, go to maytheaters.com. Live in Lloyd is brought to you by the Vic Juba Community Theatre and May Cinema 6. Live with Kurt Price is proud to partner with Sobeys here in Lloydminster and Umbrella Marketing and Design for Cupcakes for Caregivers. Cupcakes for Caregivers is a great way of getting those selfless caregivers recognized and treating them with a delicious snack, and a fantastic way to just say thank you to all those important caregivers. To nominate a caregiver or a group of caregivers, just email livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. BioClean Disaster Services is committed, certified, reliable, and will help you get your life back. BioClean Disaster Services is your local restoration company. They sponsor a lot of local events, including the one we're going to be talking about today. In just 10 years, BioClean Disaster Services has become Lloydminster's largest restoration company. Taking care of your property and your belongings, of course, is top of mind, but more than anything, it's taking care of you and your family. BioClean Disaster Services, 1-833-246-8326. We'll take a break and be right back with Live with Kurt Price, presented by Harris Electric.
Home, it's where people look out for each other. It's where we live, where we work, and it's where we choose to raise our families. For over 75 years, Harris Electric has been more than just a contractor. We've been your neighbors, so when you need us, we look out for you. We show up fast and do the job right. We're in the stands, we're in the schools, we power this community. Because here in Lloydminster, it's our home too.
At Jason Arden & Associates Cooperators, we're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first. At Cooperators, one of our core values is to give back to the communities that we live in. Thanks to the support of our clients in Lloydminster and area, in 2023, Jason Arden & Associates has donated $40,000 to local nonprofits, charities, students, athletes, and other special events. How does your insurance company support our community?
At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back, you help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
A good night's sleep starts with the right mattress, and you'll find a great selection at Border City Furniture. From plush to firm and everything in between, we carry quality mattresses to fit your comfort level and budget. Looking at a new bedroom set? Pair it with a new mattress. Updating your guest room? Start with a new mattress. Just tired of waking up sore? It might be time for a new mattress. And while you're here, browse our selection of sectionals, sofa sets, dining furniture, and recliners. For better sleep and quality Canadian-made furniture, visit Border City Furniture, your locally owned furniture store in downtown Lloydminster. Superior Water specializes in nothing but water. And with over 23 years in the business, they're proud and confident that their water and their service is superior. For iron filters, water softeners, reverse osmosis distillers, chlorine removal, and H2S odor removal, give Superior Water a call at 780-875-6636 or stop and see them at their 57th Avenue location. They're right beside Sheepskin Loft, and stay hydrated with pure, clean water. I drink Superior Water because I like the taste, and after all, it is Superior Water. Welcome back to Live with Kurt Price, presented by Harris Electric. Today, we're talking about the Economic Partnership Summit, which is coming up in September. But you're going to want to get your tickets, and we've got all the details here. Joining us, Terry Lynn Mackey. We have Caitlin Dercher here, and Ricky Ducharme is here to talk to us about this huge event as well that could be very important for your business. So thanks for coming in, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. You.
First off, for people who haven't been, don't know what it is, what is the Economic Partnership Summit?
Well, you know what? It's really about connecting businesses, especially Indigenous businesses, to local businesses, and more than just local businesses. It's got quite a far reach. This is the 14th year that we have ran the summit, and really our whole purpose is to connect those businesses, make it feel like it's like a community thing. It's like we all come together in this space, and it's a wonderful day. It happens on September 24th, and it runs from 8:30 in the morning until 4 p.m. And it's just jam-packed full of speakers, panelists, and just good food, you name it. We usually kick off the day at about 7:45 with a pipe ceremony. So we always love to start off the day in a good way, with, of course, inviting our Indigenous community to come in and help us out with that. And it happens at the Lloydminster X grounds. So yeah.
Terry Lynn, you've seen it grow.
I have. It has been an amazing transformation. So when it first started, it was mainly about education and bringing everybody into the same room and talking about, we were doing I can't think.
Call 92.
Call 92, the reconciliation before it was a thing. And so have been working on this for a long time. And then it was probably about 10 years ago that Milton Tatusa said, how are we going to gauge that the partnerships are being made and something tangible to take away? And know who's in the room and make meetings with those businesses and potentially make partnerships, at least start those conversations.
And I think that's an important part of it, is that this, especially if you are a business and you haven't been before, that this event is that platform to do that, to kind of get your foot in the door and make meaningful connections so that those connections live beyond that event. And I think that, going back to Milton Tatusis, who isn't here today, but has been a part of this since the beginning, is that it's not about, it is about reconciliation, but he calls it reconciliation, and that this event is truly that. And so I think that's an important piece, is it's if you're interested in making those partnerships and just don't know where to start, this is the platform and this is the room to kind of get into to continue those relationships.
Kellen, I'm curious, because you would be involved with so many economic developments. Is it unique to have an event where you can actually see the results happening right there?
I mean, that's the dream, is to be able to see the results happening right there for any event. I think with this one, it's flattering because we've seen other events come from this event. This event is 14 years in the making. Next year will be 15 years. We see other events pop up who have not copied, but use this as their kind of guiding principle. And so that's really flattering for the committee and for the group, because we know it's working. And so we do see that. And you do see partnerships come together at this, because you see them come back, shaking hands, hugging next year, because they know each other much better. And it goes beyond just that event.
Can you give us some examples of that success?
I think one of the biggest ones probably is Ecoplast.
Yeah.
So Ecoplast was one of our kind of trade show exhibitors.
Yep,
to start.
and has been for many years.
They are now doing business and helping different nations with some of their housing needs. And they've been our presenter now, just really putting in the work and making those connections beyond this event.
So it just came up.
Presenter. So we do have a bit of a trade show at the event.
Right.
And so not trade show, but there's booth availability around the exterior of the room. And so they've been participating as that for some time. And so just getting out there and putting themselves out there and making those partnerships again through the process that we have. Feedloop really makes it easy. You can look on your phone as you register and see who's in the room and connect directly to them.
I think that's hard to understand if you haven't been.
Yeah.
How easy it is to, because you have a few chances. You actually take breaks to do that.
Absolutely. And I think Terry Lynn mentioned that, where we've come a long way. And so what works and what doesn't. And so these business meetings event, but we can see them happening during the event. And we've got the statistics that show through the program, the connections that are being made.
So for business owners, how do you know whether this event is for you? Like,
if you have a business, it's for you. If you want to make connections and build your business, this is for you. We have businesses that last year was their first time. And they came and they're like, wow, this has been going on this many years and this is my first time here. This is fantastic. Now they are one of our major sponsors. So it shows up time and time again when you come and learn and you see the day in action, you become a part of it.
And I think that's
year after year.
Proof right there. And so to be able to come and then be, wow, we're going to put our name behind this. So thanks again to BioClean, Synovus, and Willcraft, who've joined us as our Eagle sponsors for a really long time. It was the City of Lloydminster as the main sponsor. And now to see a number of businesses up there as well and partners in this is really, really exciting. But as Terry Lynn said, it was just, they came and they realized the potential and now sponsoring at the highest level. That's unreal.
Let's talk about this year's event. What does this year look like?
Well, I think, for this year, we always have amazing speakers and panelists like that. I think that speaks for itself every single year. We kind of blow everyone out of the water with our speakers. People like Jody Wilson-Raybould in the past. This year, we have Ian Glado, who is the owner of Mitsa. So Mitsa means to eat in Cree. Sorry if I butchered that. I'm Cree, part Cree, but I'm terrible. I'm sometimes English is hard. So anyways, Mitsa, he's an amazing guy. Here's what he did. He took something that was very traditional, pemmican. He went to elders and he said, you know what, I want to create something and I want to do something that's different, but traditional, right? And how can I do this? And he really got elder support. And he literally made like a meat snack, which is fantastic. Obviously, who doesn't want that, right? Yeah. And it's delicious. And he just marketed this and it's wonderful. So he's going to come and talk about that. Not just that, but really how he grew his business just using himself. And if you ever see him on Instagram, he is just such a charismatic guy. He's really amazing. So I think he's going to be fantastic. He's the keynote speaker in the morning. And then later on in the day, we have Chief Robert Louis, who he's been here in the past. I can't remember how many years ago that was.
Some time ago.
Yeah, quite a few years ago now, but he's just an outstanding, oh man, he's a powerhouse in terms of what he has done in his area. He's from Kelowna region. And so chief of the West Bank First Nations and all the work that he's done with that. And then, of course, chair of Peace Hills Trust, which we all know, huge First Nations financial institute. And just obviously just all of this experience and knowledge and self-governance, land and everything. And I'm really excited that he's coming and he agreed to come back, which is wonderful. So that's what we have this year for our keynote speakers. And of course, all of our great panelists and everybody
That's my favorite
else.
part of the day because they're usually local and they talk about how they built their business, some of their trials and how they've succeeded and some some ways that they were able to overcome some of that stuff. So that's always my favorite part of the day.
And it's always so well received,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
when we've got people in the room and in some cases students who can relate to those stories. And I think that's part of the day is sharing and sharing knowledge and sharing challenges and the differences between the two cultures or the two groups so that we can all understand. And I think that's a super important part of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you still putting your panels together?
I think for the most
Formalized,
part,
I think, yeah.
we're mostly finalized now. Yeah.
I think we're completely finalized.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Are we sharing?
Yeah, we
those
can
numbers?
share.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got, of course we are. Okay. I'm going to probably butcher some names here, but Nathaniel Arias, yes. So he's the CEO of IOPPS. So it's a news and broadcasting, isn't that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, business. So he's on the panel. We've got Naiden Iron Night Traveler, president and CEO of Amarok Scaffolding. And then we have Jennifer Bodnerchuk, who works in HR. So she's got an MBA and she's a consulting service in HR, and we're really excited to have her there too as well. I think that the panelists really provide just like a really great conversation, and just the stories and the questions and the comments and everything. Yeah,
at that grassroots level, really, especially with when you said like who comes to this, and we say if you're a business, you should come to this. So these are businesses or business professionals who have agreed to share their story, and so everyone could learn a little bit from that.
Sure.
It's interesting listening to you talk about the panel, and I'm sitting here all of a sudden, like as soon as you had mentioned their names and what they do, I have questions because I've interviewed some Indigenous business owners in the past, and everyone you mentioned, I go, oh, what would be interesting? Well, I would like to know this. I'd like to know, oh, I have a question about that. Every one of those. It's very interesting to hear that and to sit here and go, oh, that I wonder, even the HR, I wonder, because I've interviewed some people who have struggled with that, right?
Sure.
Struggled kind of adapting into a business. So that amazes me. Now you mentioned the trade show. Can you still get in for the trade show? Like, are you still looking for any booths, or is that booked up?
I think the booths are just about completely booked up, but please contact our office and we will be able to check to see if we could get you in. We have had the most sponsorship and engagement in the summit history was this year. So we're really excited to showcase what our businesses can do with the booths. And even if you don't have a booth, like just register and show up, and it is a small, like even though that it's a larger group, but it feels like it's a very connected group, and it is an amazing day.
You mentioned students too.
Yes.
That's quite an interesting part of the Economic Summit as well. Do students come every year?
Historically, they've come almost every single year, for in different capacities. So we've changed it again. As Carolyn said, the event, we're always working on it. So different capacities. And I think it also depends on who the keynote speaker is. Right. But I believe they're coming for
Ian at the 11 o'clock, and there's usually 200 to 250 students in the room just for the keynote speaker. And it's always great that we've had great feedback from the keynote speaker when they have the chance to talk to youth. And one of my favorite is when we had Ashley Collingbull come, and she stood in the room with all of those students and talked for, it seemed like over an hour, and she never rushed them. She just took her time and talked with them and gave out her email if they were interested in certain things. So
pictures, like it was really
a great
cool to see.
Yeah. Ashley was amazing. She actually took the time to drive up to Onion Lake after that event. She took the time to drive up and go even chat with the high school students, the junior high students that couldn't attend. She was fantastic. So we've just had some phenomenal people come our way. So
it's always been a foundational part of the event.
Absolutely.
And I think that in part is part of the commitment to youth and seeing them do better. And so if we've got that opportunity, we'll do that.
It's huge.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about some of the barriers that are faced between the for the Economic Partnership Summit in just a moment. We'll also tell you how you can get a ticket and get involved with this event as well when we come back here on Live with Kurt Price, presented by Harris Electric.
Summer is here, and that means campouts, cookouts, backyard barbecues, and bacon breakfast. And when it comes to feeding your family, Diamond 7 Meats is right there with you. Diamond 7 Meats proudly provides locally sourced meats with no additives or fillers, just great tasting steaks, juicy burgers, tender pork chops, and some of the best smokies you'll ever roast over the fire. Plus, delicious beef jerky for those summer road trips. We're family owned and operated. Diamond 7 Meats, serving local families with quality products and the protein you need to fuel those busy summer days.
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years. It's more than just taxes at LNA CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at LNA CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. LNA CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
Thinking about moving but waiting for your home to sell? You may not have to. At Wellings, your next chapter doesn't need to wait for a sold sign. Move into Wellings of Lloydminster this summer and save up to $6,000 while your home sale is underway. You'll have the comfort of knowing your new home is ready when you are. Why put life on hold? Wellings, the right move right now. Visit wellingsoflloydminster.com for details. Welcome back to Live with Kurt Price, presented by Harris Electric. We're talking about the 14th Annual Economic Partnership Summit coming up on September the 24th. Our guests are Terry Lynn Mackey, Caitlin Dercher, and Ricky Ducharme. And we've been talking about this partnership without actually mentioning the partners. So let's get into who the partners are when we're talking about a partnership.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we have a committee that works really hard all throughout the year to bring the whole event alive. And I think every month we try to meet every single month. Yeah, to do this. So we've got committee members from the Lloydminster Chamber of Commerce, of course, which is our managing partner. Onion Lake Cree Nation, they've been wonderful. Lakeland College, Lloydminster Catholic School Division, Lloydminster Public School Division. We've got the City of Lloydminster. We've got Startup Lloydminster, Heart of Treaty 6, Reconciliation Committee, the Saskatchewan Indian Institute of Technologies. We have Red Bicycle Communications, Teams Alberta, and Synergy Credit Union, which is actually becoming Connexus Credit
and
Union.
then also the Lloydminster Construction Association.
Oh, yeah, skipped over that one. There we go.
What got you involved?
Well, I'm just passionate about obviously connecting partnership through Indigenous folk and non-Indigenous folk. I think it's really, really important. I guess what I could see, there was some stuff that I could hopefully bring to the table, and that was maybe some cultural support and some, I think I'm a little bit of a big picture thinker, but then also I can kind of get in there and do some of that work that needed to be done as far as making things run a little, not that it wasn't running smoothly. It always goes off without a hitch, but well, maybe a tiny hitch here and there.
You'll never see them when you come to the conference, but on the back end.
Totally. Yeah. But I just thought, well, I do know, obviously I'm a member of Onion Lake Cree Nation. So, I thought, well, I know some people. So, connecting the committee members and all of that to Onion Lake and even Frog Lake and other places, I think that's kind of where I thought I could help out a little bit. So yeah, so that's kind of why I helped on the committee. And, I've just really enjoyed it for all of the years that I've been involved.
For the Chamber of Commerce, Terry Lynn, it must be a point of pride that it's grown from 6 to what you're up to 14 now.
So I wish Milton was here to talk about the origination art to get this going. It was Pat Tenney and Milton Tutusis, and Milton came in and said, how are we going to do this? And Pat Tenney was like, we'll figure it out. And then they just went and made the connections and started it. Mm-hmm. And they brought the right people around the table at the time. And we have just grown because it is important. It's important to our region. It is important to our community. We have a lot of Indigenous communities around here that come and shop and are a part of our community, and that we need to make those connections and build that trust with each other so that we can have strong partnerships. That's what this is about, having strong partnerships and developing our economic development for our region.
I think that's a huge part of it. And so the city has been part of this since the beginning. And as Terry Lynn said, it was important because our community of Lloydminster is surrounded by a number of nations, and that regional piece, that regional importance, you can't have the community without kind of those nations. So developing those relationships is super important. And over the years, the relationships that have been developed or making time on that day to come is just been really beneficial for the community. And I think going back to kind of that truth and reconciliation piece is we were doing it before we even kind of knew we had to be doing it. And I think every year that's grown and by growing that committee and having more people jump on board or more groups, it's spreading and that's really exciting.
The fact that you have to have a summit would kind of insinuate that there are barriers there. What are those barriers?
I think one of the biggest barriers that build a connection to them. Who do I talk to? It's really about how do I take quite a bit as a committee. And we did find someone, and she's actually going to be speaking to this year. Jacqueline Cardinal is her name, and she is speaking to how to build relationships. She's going to be speaking to how to reciprocate really that give and take. And, I think it's going to be a really important piece of this year's summit. And so it really kind of answers that how-to piece and the barrier of what steps do I need to take to actually reach out and make a connection. I think on the flip side too, Indigenous, businesses or someone who is Indigenous who wants to even start their own business, there's a lot of shyness there. And, and I get it. Like, I speaking from experience, it can be really difficult to put yourself out there in business. And so, I think what Jacqueline can also offer to someone who's maybe thinking about starting their own business is to give them that little push, to give them that little confidence boost that they might need to go out and do it.
That threat of rejection is real.
For sure.
No matter what your business is.
Yeah. And I think that the summit creates a space that's safe for those people who are worried about that threat of rejection or concerned about, how do I get started or how do I get started working with First Nation or work with business. It's a safe space to do that. And like we said, and being able to build those business meetings within this event in itself creates that safe space. So you can do just as little or as much as you want in that safe space where everyone's kind of doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Does it get easier? Do you think with each year there's less and less barriers?
No.
No?
No.
I
You
think
don't, right?
I think we still have to put the effort in because it is worth it. And once the summit is no longer needed, then I think that is what a true success is.
Yeah.
But until we still need to have that platform for everybody to come and make those partnerships and those connections, because it's building trust and it's building a community. And I think we are still in need for that.
Yeah, and I kind of get goosebumps thinking about that, because one of the things that we always talk about at the end of at Summit is like, oh man, that event, you just feel so good after it. And so I always joke, because I'm not a huggy person. I don't like to hug. And that day there's so many hugs. Like there's just, you're hugged out by the end of it. Again, people are feeling safe and connected. So yeah.
Do you often feel like, well, who are we going to talk to next? You know, like these businesses, how are they finding out about the summit? And are there a lot of new businesses? Like, are you seeing a lot of new businesses and are you often surprised that, oh, that business I wasn't familiar with it?
I'm not in that way. I think it's the opposite way, and maybe you can. Why haven't you been here sooner? Like that's kind of more of the surprise. Is like, why haven't you been here sooner? Because we know that this can help kind of take your business to the next level. And in some cases, not so much this year, as Terry Lynn said, this is the most sponsorship we've seen where we've legitimately went to businesses and said, you can benefit by coming here. You should be here. And I've never heard them say at the end of the event, no, you're wrong. I shouldn't have been here. That's never happened.
No. Yeah. And honestly, because the Chamber being a managing partner, we get to see the survey results as they come in right away. And when you start reading, like, what was your best takeaway? And you're like, that's so true. Oh, that's so true. Oh, you made a $500,000 deal that day at the event, because where do you get that opportunity to do that in as a platform?
Right.
Yeah. And so, and then 5 years later, like, oh yeah, we met at the summit and we started this partnership, but we don't know about it yet. But where they met was at the summit.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing about Ian for the first time, but you guys were familiar with Ian?
Well, we're also always looking and keeping an eye out of, oh, they're doing amazing things. We need to showcase that.
And I think that shows the strength of our committee members too, is how hard they're working to like just sleuth out those businesses. And like, I mean, I'm hoping that even being on this platform today, like if you're an Indigenous business and you want to get involved, like here's your day. This is the place to go. And we're always looking for people to, come on in, check it out. And even like, if you think you could be a panelist, if you think that you could be on that platform, we'd love to hear from you too. We are so open to anyone.
Yeah. And I was going to say, even from like the speaker perspective, that work starts year in advance, like more so. It's like, here's the full list. How do we make it all flow together first as one event? How do we get everyone to the table? The Chamber does such a good job of kind of really going after those businesses, but then, maybe we'll bring them back next year, or if they can't make it this year, maybe we consider them for other pieces. And then also understanding who our market is and making sure that it's worth their date and they're going to get the presentation that they feel is worth it. So
has anything surprised you? And what have you learned from doing this? Like, Terry Lynn, let's start with you. Like 13 years you've been doing this. Has anything surprised you? What's the biggest takeaway that you've got from the economic partnership?
I've learned so much. Honestly, I am so grateful. I tear up about it because I'm really grateful for what I've learned. I've had some great mentors that have shown me how to make those true connections with Onion Lake, and Milton has taught me so much, and just learning along the way has been amazing.
Calvin, for you, I mean, I can't imagine anything, higher up on your list than in economic development than making those relationships.
I think again, it's just one, the fact that we've been doing this so long. So just, making sure that it continues. It's a priority for us, and just seeing the progress and seeing these businesses succeed over the years. And even just like kind of those light bulb moments where it's like, oh, you told me I should come, and now I see why I should be here. And those kind of appreciation moments are always really exciting. And then also just meeting people that maybe you only see once a year. And we've got some really great characters that come out to the summit, and we do only get to see them once a year. And so it just puts a little pep in your step. It gets you excited. And building relationships is foundational. And so is if there's no more relationships to build, then we won't have this event, but those will always continue. And it makes you feel really good at the end of the day.
Some of those light bulb moments that you talk about, they can be so simple.
Yeah.
And you'll be asking yourself, why couldn't I think of that without being here? You know what?
Exactly,
honestly,
right?
Seems like common sense.
Yeah,
Once it clicks, it's like, yeah. Why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah, and I think that you can sometimes see them, and sometimes they come after through the survey. But it's like, man, why didn't I register sooner, or why didn't I agree to speak sooner? Because sometimes that's a case too, where we ask people to speak and they go, oh, I couldn't, or I don't think I can, and then 3 years later they're up there. And we've had some people who aren't speakers come up and just blow your socks off there and share the story, and the kids and adults alike are up there just asking them questions. How did you do this? When you were met with this, how did you get through it? And so seeing that evolve is fantastic as well.
And Ricky, looking at it from the other side, do
Yeah.
you think there's been any surprises?
Well, yeah, for sure. Actually, there's two things that I can think of right now that, I guess one of them is that, I've actually emceed this event before. So the surprising thing for me was to try and get people to stop talking at the networking piece and come back to the tables and just okay, we got a new speaker. So that connecting piece, that piece where they get that 15-minute window. I think there's a couple during.
Yeah, there's six sessions during the day.
Yeah, but it goes by so quickly. So those pieces it's always so surprising to be like, okay, everyone, come back. We've got to keep going with the program here. So that's surprising. As an MC, I was like, oh, that was a little tougher than I thought. But then the other piece, which I knew about, but I think other people may have been surprised about when they finally attended, was how funny, humorous, how Indigenous folk always bring us a level of humor to everything. And our MCs, like Milton's hilarious. He's been an MC in the past, and he is just so funny. We've got dancers, and we bring that cultural aspect to it. And I mean that's just spectacular in itself. But I think the humor piece is always there's so much laughter in that room, and people are just having a very good time. So yeah, and that's what Indigenous people do. Yep, really funny.
It's interesting. No, you go ahead.
Sorry, just because I get emotional about the summit. But honestly, when you listen to some of the panels with the businesses and they're talking about some of the challenges they had, but then they're like, oh yeah, I've had that challenge too. This is the way that I was able to get over. It was the communication between the panelists on how they were able to overcome things and how they learned. Yep. And not only the room, but each of the businesses on the panel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I ask about the barriers, and you guys say, well, and this is needed because there's barriers, and you say, well, someday we won't need this summit. Do you see that anytime soon?
There's a lot of work to do still. And I mean, this year, obviously, so far we haven't had the event yet, but there's huge growth and huge. I see it as if there's sponsorship, then attendance from business should be really good. And then if there's attendance, then the understanding piece. And I think that's one of the biggest barriers, is understanding each other and the differences, and just, you don't know what you don't know. And so if we have great attendance by business alike, then we maybe won't need it anymore. But until everyone kind of understands those barriers, then we'll continue to need the summit.
What does it look like in the future?
I don't know. Every year it gets a little bit better. Yeah. It evolves. We've looked at it from a speaker perspective and how do we theme it? I don't know. To me, the more, if we could grow it, if we could get more people, and we've heard that from our attendees before, like, why isn't so-and-so in the door? And we're like, we don't know, send them the invite. We sent it to them, but can you send it to them? So I think just growth, just pure numbers, because the content there, the relationship building is there. The right people are in the room.
It's getting the right people in the room. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
To me, it's, you could have 500 people in the room that it doesn't apply to, like they're not there to make the partnerships. But for the last 14 years, we've had the right people in the room, but it's still bringing more of the right people in. That's, I think that's our next, is just to continue to grow that.
Yeah.
And even,
go ahead. No, I was just going to add to that growth piece is also the sustainability piece too. You know, I think that is a huge piece of business right now is, how do I grow, but then be sustainable over time, right? So I think that with the summit, you know, what Indigenous folk probably can teach us a lot about, you know, like with land stewardship and all of that stuff and the way that they work the land and their worldview on it is that sustainability piece. You might actually have something to learn from an Indigenous worldview. So, you know, maybe in the future, it is about growth, but it's also about growth with sustainability.
So the majority of people that go, do you feel like you've had to poke and prod them and say, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go?
Not.
And then when they come, they come back.
But when people come and they say, oh, why isn't so-and-so here? They're the first ones to reach out to them and saying, oh, you need to be here.
Interesting.
And then we do get those calls of like, oh yeah, I guess that so-and-so told me to register. And so.
And I think going back to the question about like, when will our work be done? So we're just talking about attendance, and some of the best attendance that we've ever had at the summit was almost 300 when you include some of the breakout sessions that we had with the different speakers. And so many of those are students in those numbers. And so if you think about that, we think about, well, you know, who should come? Every single business. Lloydminster as a whole has almost 2,000 registered businesses. And so if we have under 300 people coming to this event, not all of them being businesses, or in some cases, multiple people from an individual business, we got growth, we've got room. Because as Terry Lynn said, this is for everyone. And I think that when you talk about even personal development within your workforce, there's great speakers here. So management owners, if you're just looking for a day close to home, and looking for an opportunity to learn and grow, the economic partnership is for you too.
Yeah.
So how do you get registered?
Well, we have a website for one, and I'm epsummit.ca. epsummit.ca, and there is a big register here like button that you can register, and I just encourage everyone to have a look at that. It is a beautiful website. It's well laid out.
It's brand new.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I think too is if you're thinking about registering and you've been on the, oh, should I? You should. Yeah. Just go. You're not going to regret it.
And then if you're having any problems registering online, reach out to the chamber office at 780-875-9013, and we can help you get registered.
Thank you, ladies. Is there anything I'm forgetting?
Please come out.
Come out and thank you for our sponsors and obviously our committee members and the chamber for putting this all together. It's a really important day. And I think that everyone benefits from it.
Thank you. Appreciate this.
Thank you.
We'll be back with you on Tuesday, and we're going to be talking to the Sexual Assault Center about their Little Bear program. They have a barbecue and open house coming up to introduce that to the community, and we're looking forward to that. That'll be 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning on Live with Kurt Price, presented by Harris Electric.